In the middle of New York's skyscrapers, someone's life is about to change forever. On a rooftop, surrounded by music and a romantic atmosphere. A woman has transformed this terrace into the set of a genuine love story.
You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. It can only happen once. You want to do it right.
However, Ash is not preparing this romantic evening for her partner. She is a professional marriage proposal coach.
This is my third proposal of the day. And crazy enough, they were all on rooftops. A lot of love happening today in New York City.
Ash has more and more clients every year and has masterminded 1,500 marriage proposals since 2012.
No pedal out of place.
But never for herself.
I'm not married. No, I'm single. I've never been proposed to. And I have no idea how anybody, you know, what it could possibly be, because I've pretty much seen it all.
After 2 hours of preparation,
I think it's done. I think we're good.
Tonight, Jobin is taking the plunge.
You look great. I love the outfit.
I'm not sure how her reaction's gonna be, because she's gonna be like extremely surprised. Yeah.
Ash's clients are offered very detailed coaching.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place you in the center of the rose petals.
No room for error,
And my
nor for
recommendation
spontaneity for that
is-
matter.
But stay in the heart, because the heart is kind of like the stage where it's all happening. So grab her hand, and you want to just take her by the hand, and then without saying anything, boom, knee.
All the traditions of romantic comedies are perfectly reproduced.
You're gonna be great.
In the home of liberalism, the perfect marriage proposal comes at a cost. Jobin spent $3,000.
So like it came in a package all at once, and then it was so much easier just to go from her. So that's why I did it through her. Because she's really helpful. It calms me down, and then she tells me like exactly what to do and the process of it. So.
All right, here we go. Getting ready. Places, everybody.
Jobin's girlfriend will arrive in a few minutes. Ash, ready to capture the moment, is hiding in the corner. She keeps her client rehearsing until the very last second.
You want to try it down on the knee real quick, just for a test-a-roo, I'll tell you. Perfect. Perfect. Stay right there.
Jobin is very nervous, and suddenly, Diane arrives.
Oh.
You don't have to bend under.
Babe.
What were those memes?
You have no idea how much impact it made me in my life. And I can't imagine my life without you. So Diana, will you marry me?
Yes! Is this real life? Are you real?
Ash's gamble has paid off.
Congratulations, Jobin.
The young fiancés
Congratulations.
enjoy a few emotional minutes with their friends.
1, 2, 3, fun. Woo! Okay.
Then Ash quickly takes over again.
So do you guys mind giving us a little bit of time? I'm just get some private, nice pictures of them, and you want to put your arm around her? Yeah, that's nice. That's cute. I love that. And looking at each other here.
An hour of posing, loving looks. Everything is organized down to the last detail.
I'm just gonna move this little piece of hair, if you don't mind me doing this.
Diane and Jobin will announce their engagement with these photos.
Beautiful, so pretty.
Perfect staging. That's American-style romanticism. The United States, the home of Hollywood's romantic comedies. But is all American-style love as idyllic? From New York to Los Angeles, stopping off in Texas, we've looked into the heart of couples and also singles on the subject of romantic relationships.
First base is French kissing.
We have discovered that Americans respect the phases of a clearly defined order.
Second base is putting a hand up a shirt. Third base is receive a blowjob. And then fourth base is sex.
Those who respect these stages to the letter might have the chance to stay together for life. Here in America, people get married almost twice as often as French people.
Let's get married!
The ceremonies are spectacular, worthy of the greatest romantic films.
In our culture, you have big, crazy weddings.
Jessica and Tyler have spent $100,000 on their dream wedding.
We're married!
If the marriage rate in France is falling, it remains stable in the United States, not least because of the country's puritanical roots. Religion dictates romantic, family, and sexual life for a large number of Americans. One 18-year-old in 4 is a virgin and will sometimes remain one until marriage, like Nathalie and Matthew.
We were both virgins when we got married.
Since Donald Trump's election, conservative ideas have taken center stage again. The American president plans to cut the entire budget allocated to abortion clinics. A large part of the population support him.
Our dream is that abortion would be illegal.
Today's United States is also the America of sexual scandals.
Touching, rubbing, grabbing, blocking are all potential examples of physical harassment.
1 year after the Harvey Weinstein scandal, a wider gap has been forged between men and women in American society. Anti-harassment classes are now taught in offices, even though businesses were traditionally the place where couples got together.
Many male managers struggle with how to interact with the opposite gender.
In this fractured America, where men and women are beginning to lose their bearings a little, some are choosing to love one another differently.
Sex with 3 people is like the best thing in the world. It's the best sex ever.
A portrait of a country where sexual harassment and the codification of love have taken precedence over romanticism and passion. Los Angeles, sun, the beach, Hollywood. Here, the conditions are ideal for flirting. But recent sexual harassment scandals have chilled the relationships between the next generation's boys and girls. And after a decade of dating app overconsumption, they feel let down by modern love. So some are looking for new ways to meet and love one another. Ash is 27 years old. He's a designer and he's looking for love.
Boom. I love love, and it's been 2 years since I've been madly in love, so I would love to find that partner again.
He's dressed up for a slightly unusual evening where he'll meet single people.
It's a Friday night. Many people are at the bars, getting wasted, but me and you and us, we're doing something different.
Ash was invited to this mysterious evening by a friend. Invites are only sent out by word of mouth and are few and far between.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi!
First time?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm a little bit nervous because I have no idea what to expect.
The evening takes place at Alora's house. She is 70 years old. Aware that young people are finding it hard to meet, she organizes evening get-togethers every week based on sensuality. Tonight, the dress code is white, so Alora gives her guests a sexy makeover.
Isn't it super feminine? And she's naked, but she's not.
It's Ash's turn. With the use of these togas, Alora eliminates all social and economic differences between the participants.
I feel pretty comfortable and like a little exposed.
So keep your underwear on so that we're all protected.
They are lawyers, doctors, TV producers. All of them are single.
Is that okay with you? It's hot.
Can you guys live with it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's good. Yeah.
Expecting to meet some beautiful single women.
in a very unorthodox environment.
The evening kicks off with a peculiar ceremony.
So, in this moment, just feel the breeze.
Somewhere between a New Age party and Baba Cool, the guests play along.
I am officially the goddess of wildness and permission. And my job is to give you encouragement to connect with each other without the fear that is always often there in our relationships.
And Alora has a method to encourage her guests to relax and cast aside their inhibitions.
So what we're doing here is about to have some cannabis.
Cannabis has been legal in California since January 2018. Alora even gives it a little nickname.
We don't want to call cannabis pot anymore. So I say, let's call it Mary. And say, Hail Mary.
The Singletons take drags on futuristic-looking e-cigarettes, and the cannabis seems to take effect.
Tonight I'm bringing positivity and connectedness.
I'm Adam, and I'm bringing my own unique masculine energy.
Everyone is relaxed.
I am Nina, and I'll be bringing my joy and my smile of joy.
Cannabis will be available to the guests all night.
So this is cannabis chocolate. Oh, is it? Yeah, so we have regular chocolate if you just like regular chocolate. No.
Alora thinks that young people are obsessed with their dating apps and forget to simply look around them.
We really have to create intentional spaces and times to come together and put the phones down, stop looking for the one, get out of the agenda, and show up and love who's ever there, and touch and hug.
Each participant has spent $40 to learn how to seduce themselves again.
Move, stir it up, get your body walking, walk fast.
The Singletons begin the practical exercises.
The women, make your sound. Ha! Shake your butt with that person. A little shake of the butt. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay. Oh.
Sigh, touch one another, feel one another. The singles learn about sensuality for 3 hours, and some take advantage of it a little.
Ashley's got it going. I think so. Men, no grip, no exploring women's breasts with your hands.
And Alora's very gender-stereotypical words of encouragement don't seem to shock anyone.
And women, just let go and feel the support of the masculine. Not that you can't touch there, but...
Ash heeds Alora's advice and seems to be getting along well with Katie, one of the female participants.
They started being afraid.
I would absolutely love to see any of the women here again, to connect with them beyond tonight.
Despite being eccentric, Alora's evening seems to have paid off. The next day, Ash has a more typical American-style romantic meeting, a date, and it's with Katie.
What would you like to do? Would you like to sit or walk?
If their first meeting was outside the box, their date befits the romantic institution of the United States.
You want some? I brought some.
Thank you for being so thoughtful.
Yeah.
I had a traditional background of you date to get married, and so I've been very aware of that. That's a program that runs in the background for me.
Over the course of their dates, couples overcome certain stages. Each romantic encounter brings something new. Dating is extremely codified in the United States.
I would say date number one would be a man picks up a woman in a car and takes her to dinner and pays for the dinner. I think men would expect to kiss more than women on a first date. Second date could be riding bikes along the bike path, and maybe that's including dinner as well, but this is where you start to get into more expectations about sex. You know, potentially a second date could end up at one of the people's apartments, and maybe you cuddle on the couch and maybe you hook up, but you don't have sex. Maybe by the third date, I've heard, oh, you have to have sex by the third date.
So dates are extremely codified, but that's not all. The sexual stages passed during dates are called bases, and they too are arranged in a clearly defined order.
Okay, so first base is French kissing, or kissing. Second base is putting a hand up a shirt. Third base is hands on the other person's crotch, and then fourth base is sex.
When does oral sex come?
That's third base.
So you have oral sex before sex?
Yeah.
Usually.
It's more common to have foreplay and to receive a blowjob and for me to eat a girl out before we have sex, even if it's the first time. It's the foreplay leading up to sex.
Our interview breaks the ice between Ash and Katie, who speak openly about sex.
If I'm not with a woman, I'm pleasuring myself with porn. And I will say that I've used porn way more times than not to pleasure myself.
So as a woman, something I would do is I would just touch myself in a way that I would want a partner to touch me. So maybe that's something you can try.
Ash and Katie are getting along very well. They met up the following week for a second date. But given the frantic pace of modern life, it's harder and harder to find love in the U.S. More than 45% of American adults today are single, a historic record for the country. Single people are concentrated in big cities like San Francisco, a booming metropolis a stone's throw away from Silicon Valley, where white-collar workers rub shoulders with startup entrepreneurs. In this ultra-capitalist society, some don't hesitate to pay to find their soulmate. This is an important moment for Stephanie.
He's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say to my friends, I'm always, oh, you guys are going to love him. He's great.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about my future husband, that I'm just excited that he's coming and that we're finally going to meet and begin our lives together.
Aww.
And I think I know that he feels the same way too. Right.
Stephanie is talking about her dream man, but she hasn't actually found him yet. At 34 years old, she's decided to call upon Taylor Francois Bodine, a professional matchmaker. She's organized a romantic meeting, which Stephanie is getting ready for.
By the time you come to me and you go on your date, we already know that you've got things in common. You've got demographics that are in common, you have values that are in common. And the only question is, do you have chemistry?
Stephanie has an important job at a firm in Silicon Valley. She works a lot and does not have the time to search for a perfect partner. So to find this rare gem, she's spending $30,000.
I'm investing in my future, and that is how I look at it. I'm investing in our future and the future that my husband and I are going to have. And when I look back on the money that I have invested, it's going to mean nothing, right? Because I'm going to have everything.
Taylor receives hundreds of applicants, but only takes on 10 or so clients every year.
Frank has no idea what's in store for him. Oh my God. He's so lucky.
We're going to Jordan's kitchen for Stephanie's date.
A date with Greg, I'm excited.
For this date, Taylor has organized a cooking class followed by lunch in a trendy San Francisco restaurant. Stephanie cannot afford to make a mistake on the first date.
Okay, so I want you to remember that less is more. And so we're going to be listening, and it's okay to have moments of pausing and quiet. And then in terms of being exuberant and excited, we'll keep everything in the box.
Last-minute words of advice, but Taylor won't let Stephanie go in completely alone. She equips her client with a discreet earpiece.
Okay, so I'm putting this in your ear so that I communicate with you on the date.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Taylor goes and hides.
I am going to be secretly observing the date between Greg and Stephanie. And so I've got this device that allows me to see what's happening in the kitchen.
Taylor will secretly watch and listen to the date. Stephanie's admirer is bang on time. To find partners for her clients, Taylor must be a social butterfly. She met Greg at an evening for the sports club he's a member of.
Looks like Greg's here.
Oh, excited. It'll be fun. I know absolutely nothing about it. It was completely blind.
Greg is 40 years old and is desperate to meet his soulmate. Everything is ready in the kitchen for a romantic encounter.
Just make him a little snack with the champagne.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So nice to meet you. I'm Stephanie.
Oh, Greg. Nice to meet you.
Their greeting takes the form of a handshake. On the first date, people don't know each other well enough yet, so physical contact is kept at a distance. While Greg knows that the date has been organized by Taylor, he's not aware that she is coaching Stephanie.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. It's a fun date.
Yeah.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some summer squashes. We are going to have them.
Stephanie has been told to be discreet and not to speak too much.
Do you ever grow vegetables?
Not that. I just don't have the opportunity to.
Yeah. So I only have a porch at my place, and I have put a bunch of pots. So I have a bunch of citrus and some gardenia plants and some lavender.
Stephanie is hogging the conversation. Taylor is getting worried.
So I think right now is a good time to be mindful
of
allowing him to take the lead in the conversation.
But Stephanie is lost in her story and ignores Taylor's advice.
And I thought I was going to be a CPA until the end of my 4th year, and I was like, what am I thinking? So I got
Keep your arm movements and exuberance a little bit less big.
I like to be a sous chef, though. So tell me an instruction, I'm in.
So Steph, I think you need to slow down and let Greg talk.
You know, basically without screwing it up.
Yeah, no pressure.
So, yeah, no pressure at all. No pressure at all.
Stephanie, she's leading the conversation now, not only with Greg, but also with the chef. And if she continues to do that, that might, void the opportunity for a second date. So that's a little concerning at this point.
You want to turn those on for us so I don't make that 50-50 mistake?
The date is a disaster for Stephanie. She's not listening to her coach's advice, so Taylor switches to plan B.
Steph, so pretend you're going to the bathroom and meet me in the closet.
It's a last-ditch intervention.
Yes, help me.
Yeah. It's still very early in the date, so we could still change the trajectory of the date, but I just think
tone it back.
Tone it back.
Yeah.
So a more feminine, more subtle tone as opposed to big and bold.
Okay.
Old school advice, but it seems necessary in Stephanie's case. As she sits down for lunch, she finally appears to heed Taylor's advice. A short, awkward silence, and at last, Stephanie listens to Greg.
Life's too short to sit in neutral. Just bring it on. Cheers.
She seems to have recovered the situation at the very last moment. The time for handshakes is over.
So much. Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah.
They go for a hug instead.
Bye.
So I think that went really well.
Stephanie and Greg met up again a few weeks later, but didn't take it any further than that. Dating is a real obstacle course. You have to respect the strict rules. When it does go well and you find your soulmate, the next phase of life together is still full of codes and rituals. In the suburbs, 1 hour from LA. It's a very special day for Jessica, and she is very excited. She's getting married in a week, but before that, like many soon-to-be married American women, she has to tick off a crucial milestone, The bridal shower. This is a party during which the bride is showered with gifts from her friends, the women in her family, and her husband's family.
Thank you for just blessing me with like the most amazing group of girls. Just bless the food and let us have a great time. And in the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Jessica is of Chinese origin, but was born in the U.S. and has adopted all of the country's traditions.
So for bridal showers, no boys allowed. The boys pretty much get kicked out of the house for the day, and it's like girls only, and we do a bunch of fun, girly things, and yeah.
The bridal shower is not to be confused with a hen party, which is already common in Western Europe. Jessica will celebrate both.
So we're just gonna start off strong and just go with the tequila. So we're making drinks right now, cocktails.
You don't just party at the bridal shower. The women must help the bride step into the shoes of the traditionally perfect wife. Sexy lingerie.
Oh, this is cute.
But also kitchen utensils.
Spatulas, and then a big serving bowl.
A tradition dating back to the 17th century brought to the U.S. by European colonists, but one that is not very well adapted to the modern American, like Jessica.
I like certain things. I can't cook like really crazy things, but like simple stuff I can do.
If the bridal shower appears to be a slightly outdated tradition, it's certainly an opportunity for the future bride to put on a performance. You might think that Jessica is a Beverly Hills star, but she is middle class. She recently quit her sales job to become a blogger.
I just want like a close-up of us like doing this.
Everything is staged for social media. A group of photographers and cameramen follow her everywhere.
Okay, can you just start recording now just in case? Oh, you're already going? Okay.
Having fun in a completely staged way for the cameras, and to let everyone know that you're going to get married.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, okay.
In the kitchen, the atmosphere is very different for Jessica's dad. According to him, an immigrant from China and an engineer, there is an obvious gap between the generations.
The set and taking pictures seem to be the trend. We were more traditional. As we see on TV, they have staging. This is like a staging.
And Jessica has taken staging to a whole new level. She has planned a surprise for her guests.
Oh, they're so cute. I'm gonna cry. Oh, and there's more.
10 or so puppies.
So I don't even want to say rented, but there's this thing like this app where you can go and you can get some puppies to come for about an hour just to play with and just to have fun and yeah.
Very cute puppies.
Hi.
But there's no way they're allowed to mess up the decor.
I just Googled puppy party, and I was like, I just want puppies at my party because they make everyone so happy.
Everything is about appearance when it comes to the modern traditions of American romantic life. You need an extravagant bridal shower for your successful wedding, but also a diamond ring bigger than your friends.
There are some girls who are like, no, I want a big ring. I don't care if you can afford it. You just have to pay it off. So some people end up having to spend years to pay off the engagement ring. So there's a payment plan, and some people like end up being in debt for a ring.
The ring has to be huge. The wedding, too. Jessica's takes place a few days later. She's rented an estate on the Malibu Heights, right among the vines.
Yeah, so you guys will be facing this side, the guys will be facing over there. Cool.
Before the wedding, the groomsmen and bridesmaids have to rehearse the ceremony.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Not nervous?
No, not nervous at all. Yeah, everyone keeps asking me, I'm like, no, I like him. Like, why would I be nervous?
As tradition goes, to avoid bringing bad luck, Jessica goes and hides as her fiancé Tyler arrives. While marriage is stalling in France, it remains stable in the U.S. There are more than 2.3 million marriages per year, or 6,200 every day.
It was a dream for her to get married young, and for me to get married too. The country's built on pride and love and fellowship, and I think that's what weddings signify.
Marriage is the cornerstone of American society. Compared proportionally to the French, Americans get married twice as much.
So all the groomsmen, come over here with me.
And to organize the evening of their dreams, the couple has hired Lindsay, a wedding planner, an industry born in the U.S. and imported to Western Europe.
So this is our timeline, and actually this is pretty much minute by minute. We start from the very beginning of when the first rental company comes at 8 o'clock, and then we go all the way through to the very end.
Just like a show at the theater, the dress rehearsal of the wedding ceremony begins. But the groomsmen are not disciplined enough for Lindsay's liking.
See how the ladies are kind of fanned out?
Yeah.
So there we go, just fan out like this, and then I always like it when your hands go like this.
A real stage play. It is 42 degrees, but the guests rehearse the ceremony for an hour.
Crazy stuff, right? You've seen nothing like this before, huh?
Everything has to be perfect, and Jessica hasn't been stingy. Her parents are paying for the whole thing. This wedding is extremely expensive for this middle-class family.
But they're lucky they only have one daughter.
How much is it? They look so beautiful. Oh, where's the coolest? Here's the coolest. It's right here. 70,000, 80,000, 100,000.
In our culture and out here, you have big, crazy weddings.
The average cost of a wedding with 100 guests in the United States is the equivalent of 30,000 euros. And while Jessica has always known she wanted a big ceremony, she never imagined she would marry Tyler.
I liked white guys, but I always thought they were too, far on the spectrum. You know, I'm Asian, dark hair, and blonde. You know what I mean? I was always attracted to them, but I'm I'll never end up with one. Our first date, we ended up sitting there talking for 3 hours, just nonstop, and we didn't even realize how late it was. And then after that, I was I really like him. He's cute. He's white. Perfect.
This wedding reflects a deep-seated reality in American society, which is blending more and more. The number of mixed marriages hasn't stopped increasing since they were legalized 50 years ago. Today, 17% of marriages are mixed, while only 7% were in the 80s.
Thank you.
Like 7 out of 10 Americans, Tyler and Jessica are Christians. Jessica has decided to remain a virgin until marriage. She puts on a garter, a symbol of purity.
So we're definitely waiting, and then we're saving it for tonight. I mean, we've yeah, of course, kiss and whatever, but that, no. So yeah, I guess it is nervous.
What if he's bad in bed?
It's okay. We can, there's videos and stuff. We can learn. That'll be fine.
Outside, under an archway of flowers, just like in a romantic film.
Let's get married! Woo!
Tyler's parents and the guests wait for the bride.
This is so pretty. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. This is so pretty.
Oh, not yet, not yet. So, how is it to give your daughter away today?
It's special.
On her father's arm, the bride is living her fairy tale. When he sees Jessica, Tyler bursts into tears.
Good, bro. You're all right, man. Stand there. Stop moving. Stand there.
In front of all their friends, they pledge their love to one another.
You are my best friend, and I vow to take care of you always, through good and bad. You're my everything. I love you, my wife.
And with a little humor.
I'm so honored to take your last name and will forever wear it proudly. After all, I finally get a white girl name to match my white girl personality.
Personal privilege to declare you husband and wife. Tyler, you may kiss your bride.
Since they met 2.5 years ago, Tyler and Jessica have scrupulously respected the traditions of romantic life from dating to the bridal shower. And today, finally, they are husband and wife.
We're married! Yeah, we're married. Yeah.
But before the party continues,
I'm so annoyed. Everyone's running around. No one's taking pictures.
pause in the staging plan.
Getting loose already. Everyone just needs to quiet down because
Shush.
No need to go to town hall in the United States. The formalities are done by post.
Okay, where do I sign?
Your signatures in the half page. Yeah. Right
This marriage is perfectly legal. Once the documents are signed, it's time to party. But back again to traditions. With a typically American custom, the money dance. The bride must wiggle her hips in a sexy way in return for banknotes.
That man's making it rain over there.
They want to donate money for them for a honeymoon, for their home, for their future, and so they pay money to dance for them.
Then Tyler must take off his new wife's garter with his teeth. The party is a great success. However, like all American marriages, the evening finishes before 11 p.m. Marriage is very important in the U.S., predominantly because of the country's puritanical roots. And the southern states remain fervent defenders of this heritage. Alabama is one of the ultra-Christian southern states, an area we call the Bible Belt. This Republican and conservative America influences all the traditions related to love, family, and sex. The Brumfield family lives in a neat and tidy residential district in Trussfield.
Thank you for many blessings, amen, amen, yay!
They are very devout Protestants. Even the Frère Jacques song has become a prayer for children. Braxton, Alana, and Elijah have been adopted by the Brumfields. Matthew Jr. is their biological baby.
You sit up like a lady. You sit up. Thank you.
Nathalie, the mom, follows all the rules the Lord tells her to.
Always wanted to adopt. The Lord put that in my heart. Faith is a huge part of our family. I remember just learning about Jesus and that he loved me. And it was just this simple verse I learned when I was, 4 years old. And it was, God is love. And I wanted to venture with the Lord. I wanted to do everything that the Bible had and more. And so when I met my husband, it was like he understood. He was on the same page with his faith too.
Nathalie and Matthew yield to God when it comes to their family and sexual life.
We really talk a lot about just God being in complete control of our lives in general.
But to me, it's like just the most beautiful, natural thing to allow Jesus to build your family the way he wants. That's why we never did birth control. We never did anything like that. We just wanted to see what he would do.
They don't use contraception. However, the couple has only had one biological child due to fertility issues. Nathalie and Matthew's sex life started the day they got married. They were 30 years old.
We were both virgins when we got married. I had not met a man who had waited. So he thought it would, of course, yeah, sure, but I was shocked that he was, and I was so excited. And honestly, he's really hot, so I thought, wow, you are? I was like, wow, Jesus gave me the prize. I was so happy.
At the Brumfields, you'll even find religion during the children's playtime.
You want to play church and you want to preach to us? Yeah, you do? Do you want your Bible? Yes, ma'am.
It's a slightly unusual role play. Everyone has their Bible.
Okay, can you teach us? Okay, tell me what the Bible says.
Jesus would see his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he died on the cross.
He did.
And he come back.
He did come back.
But it isn't easy for 4-year-old Alana to preach as she should.
Can you guys read? They can't read yet. They know sight words.
It's Sunday, so after rehearsals, Mass is the real deal.
Okay.
In Alabama, 86% of the population is Christian. The Brumfields are members of the Highlands Evangelical Protestant Church, the biggest church in Alabama and the second biggest in the country. It has more than 60,000 parishioners. It's a mega church.
Okay, hold hands. We're gonna go check in.
The Brumfields know everyone here.
Hi, how are you?
Inside, the church looks more like a huge cinema. There's a cafeteria and an automatic till where families must sign in their children when they enter.
So they go each their own special classes where they get to all worship according to their age group. So it's fun for 2-year-old, 3-year-olds. 1-year-old, they have like worship on in the room. They pray over the babies and like feed them and let them sleep and rock.
The church is super organized and very safe. Each child is identified by a barcode linked to his or her name.
So it helps to know that the parents have the right code so they can only pick up your children.
Hey.
Thank you.
Inside, the amphitheater can hold 2,000 people. As the faithful settle in before the sermon, a Christian rock group gets them in the swing of things. It's a real mega production. Everything is filmed. Nathalie, like a true groupie, knows all the words. But once the show is over, surprise, no preacher, just a video.
That God has a plan for your life, and it's better than the one you're currently writing for yourself. It's really true.
On Sunday, the Highlands Church offers 4 masses. So that the preacher doesn't have to repeat himself, the first mass is filmed and then rebroadcast.
But I'm going to remember the Lord who is great and awesome.
Nathalie puts all his teachings into practice, especially in resisting abortion. She voted for Donald Trump and was delighted he nominated Brett Kavanaugh, the reputed anti-abortion Supreme Court judge.
Matthew and I and our whole family actively pray for. We pray for a pro-life Supreme Court. We do. Our dream is that abortion would be illegal.
According to government figures, there are 1,800 abortions every day in the U.S. But Nathalie has stats of her own.
When I think of 3,000 babies a day, it's almost like, in the United States, it's almost like it's so much, your brain can't comprehend 3,000. You know, we have a school shooting, which is horrific. You see that on the news, or any kind of terrorist attack, and you have 17, 50, 75 people die. You know, it's overwhelming.
Nathalie is exaggerating the numbers and is not afraid to compare abortion to a shootout. 40% of Americans are against abortion. Last May, Donald Trump announced plans to cut the budget allocated to medical centers granting access to abortion. It's already very difficult to find clinics and doctors who perform abortions in puritanical states. Such is the lack of services that gynecologist Willie Parker gets on a 2-hour flight every month from North Carolina to Alabama to allow women who want to have an abortion to do so. Dr. Parker still has to drive 1 hour to get to the clinic, but performing abortions in the puritanical states of the South is extremely dangerous. He's discreet and goes inside the building by the back door.
By me being in this space, it allows me to be safer, and also it just keeps down, it allows us to avoid conflict with people who are opposed to what we do.
Since 1993, there have been 11 deaths and 26 assassination attempts on people performing abortions. Willie Parker regularly receives death threats.
About to get in.
What did they call it? Was it?
Filthy Negro abortionist. Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah. So, in general, my position is to ignore. If they're focused on me, that means there's just one more woman that they're not harassing.
In this clinic, Dr. Parker is well liked.
We love Dr. Parker. Yes, he's a great doctor. Teacher. You learn every day. Somebody got to fight, he doing it. Yeah. Do you want to see your picture?
I had to drive 2 hours. I had a hard time finding places to come to myself. And we're not, like I said, we have a decent life. And I have a decent education level, and it was still hard for me to figure out.
Tiffany said she has to have an abortion in order to continue her studies.
We have no way of knowing.
The door is open.
Abortion is legal in the U.S. since 1973, but unlike in France, it is not reimbursed here. In the room next door, Dr. Parker is treating Courtney, who's 25.
At the very end, you're gonna feel a cramp because that's how your uterus is gonna control bleeding. Everything's very, very short. It's gonna take 5 minutes. We'll take good care of you.
Courtney is a policewoman. She drove 3 hours to get here.
I'm kind of nervous.
Hello.
When abortion is performed in good conditions, it's very safe. Only 0.5% of abortions experience complications.
One of the reasons I do this work is because we know that when abortion is legal and is accessible, it's safe.
In states where it is difficult to have an abortion, lots of women rely on contraband medication or illegal and dangerous activities. Courtney has really thought over her choice.
My fiance, he's a police officer as well, so it would have been no, time for the baby. And it would have led to one of us actually leaving the job. And then you have to think about not having the finances to take care of the child.
How much did
In the U.S., family benefits are scarce. To raise their children, Americans spend on average 20% of their net income.
And that's it. You did great.
Dr. Parker is angry about the nomination of the anti-abortion Supreme Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
It concerns me right now that women have difficulty accessing basic care. I think that any president, this president or any person in government who's not acting in the best interest of the people, all of the people, that person is not fit, in my opinion, to be a leader.
Puritanical states cannot ban abortion because it is legal at a national level. But they are doing all they can to close the clinics. They are imposing rules that are often impossible to respect. For example, they're reviewing the required width of corridors or preventing establishments from setting up shop near schools. In Alabama, there are only 4 clinics performing abortions. There were 9 in 2014. Some activists are campaigning for this clinic to close.
Why am I here? My sign tells it all.
This pensioner comes to the clinic 5 times a week, and her arguments against abortion are, to say the least, abstract.
I am from Germany. I wasn't born after Hitler, so I couldn't do anything then to help the Jews, but now I'm able to help the babies. This is the American Holocaust.
When women get to the clinic, the activists try to dissuade them from having an abortion. Ruth has come prepared.
It's all baby stuff. People at church made this beautiful quilt. All baby stuff here.
A basket.
Diapers, clothes, diapers, and wet wipes.
Ruth's solution, some blankets to care for a child for her whole life, is a little simplistic. But for her, it's already more than women deserve.
If you're not married, if you can't afford a baby, don't jump in bed with a guy. you know. But if you do, don't let the baby bear the punishment.
Some demonstrators go even further.
Rape doesn't matter. Rape is still a life. It wasn't the baby's fault. Don't become God yourself, that you can just say, I can destroy this life that was given to me from God, a gift from God. We can help you. We can help you.
Volunteers from the clinic are protecting the patients from the demonstrators.
This is to drown them out when they're yelling at people. Because the women in particular are very loud often, but they're not louder than this. And there are some of the men that are.
Katie and Josie are volunteers. They've been supporting the clinic team for 10 years and confront the demonstrators.
Oh, you are a liar.
Just gotta cool down for a minute.
Despite the provocations, Katie is always smiling.
Some women do come here alone, and they're frightened, and we just try to let them know that they're not alone.
These volunteers have to protect the patients who arrive with an umbrella as the demonstrators film the women going in and leaving the clinic to humiliate them on social media.
Being from Alabama, it's hard. You know, I was not raised to be feminist or a strong, independent woman at all. I was taught such opposite, you know, to be tiny and small and meek and beholden to a man. And I'm just like, no, that's not okay.
Katie is one of those Americans who is cutting loose from the puritanical stranglehold, and she's not the only one. Even in the ultra-conservative states, some have adopted novel lifestyles. We're staying in the south of the U.S., where religion and patriotism frame the inhabitants' lives. Welcome to Texas. It's waking time for a family, which seems like all the others, with one important difference. There are 3 people in this couple.
Good morning, guys.
Adam, Brooke, and Eve are what we call polyamorous.
I have a relationship with Adam. I also have a relationship with Eve. The 2 of them also have a relationship together. More often than not, the 3 of us have a relationship all at the same time.
Eve and Adam are well-being coaches. Brooke is a biology student.
I think when most people think about polyamory, they think of polygamy, which is one man having multiple wives. Polyamory is just the acknowledgement that you're able to love more than one individual person in a romantic way.
There are around 2 million non-monogamous couples in the U.S.
It started, me and Brooke were best friends, and we started dating. And when we first got together, Brooke told me that she was predominantly interested in women, but also like men. And she said that she's not going to give up women for me. And so I said to her, okay, that's absolutely fine. In that case, I'm not going to give them up for you. And we met Eve, and Eve rocked our worlds.
Adam, Brooke, and Eve have even started a family. They have 4 children.
My mom thinks I'm the only person that can make her smile this much.
Biologically, Oliver, Dante, and Ivy are Brooke and Adam's children, and Orion is Eve's son.
I have 3 parents, 2 little brothers, 1 sister, and to me, the sister is the cutest of them all.
Oliver is the oldest. He's 8 years old.
Pretty much every kid that I know only has 2 parents.
So what do you think about having 3 parents?
It's awesome.
Adam, Brooke, and Eve take it in turns to take care of the children.
We all count them as our children, so we don't differentiate. We both moms, and he calls me mom as well. What's my name?
Mom.
Oh, there you go.
So you have 2 mommies? Uh-huh. How do you feel about having 2 mommies? Happy.
These polyamorous lovers seem happy and flourishing. However, they don't live in a community which is very open to out-of-the-ordinary families. They have put down roots right in the heart of the Texan countryside, a Republican, Christian, and conservative stronghold. This is the American heartland.
Hey guys, looking good!
Today is the 4th of July, a national holiday in the U.S.
Happy 4th of July! Happy 4th of July!
The entire city has come out for this big event. The children are over the moon. Adam and Brooke are wearing costumes and are part of the parade. The family has not gone into hiding. As they are not married, their living arrangements are perfectly legal. But that does not prevent criticism.
I feel like it should just be one man and one woman, and that's it. Why? Just, that's how it's supposed to be. When God made us, he made a man and a woman to be together, and then that was it.
In this ultra-conservative state, it's out of the question to break away from conventional family models, but some aren't so decided on this issue.
If it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
You do it?
No. I think my wife would probably kill me.
Maybe mindsets are starting to open up a little in traditional America. Brooke, Adam, and Eve are used to criticism, but choose to ignore it.
This guy just eating grass. Well, strangers just gives weird look. They like come to me, so like, oh, yeah, you know, like one of those.
We've had mixed reactions. We've had some family members that are surprised by it. The biggest reaction I get is, oh, I could never do that. How do you do that? And again, I don't ask anyone else to do that. I just ask that you support me in my choice to do that. So, yeah, they were a little shocked.
The parade is coming to an end. The family return to their home. The children are asleep.
Sex with 3 people is like the best thing in the world. As a guy, I can 100% confirm it's the best sex ever. Like, I want both Brooke and Eve to be sexually fulfilled at all times. When you switch between 2 different women, your recovery period from sex almost dissipates. What happens if I have sex with one of the girls? If I try to get frisky with the same one, my body struggles. But if I go straight to the other one, I'm instantly ready to go again.
Some polyamorous people have open relations. This is not the case for Adam, Brooke, and Eve, who are faithful to one another.
The sexual life with 3 people is always in danger. It's something new, it's something fun. And it works out pretty good. You know, like if someone's not in the mood, if you had regular relationship and one of your partner's not in the mood, you left solo, you know? At least here you have like other options too, you know, so which is nice.
Different moods on different days. Like sometimes I want Eve a lot and sometimes I want Adam a lot. And it just depends on who's looking particularly sexy that day.
Meanwhile, tonight everyone is reading. From polyamory to conventional dating anchored in tradition, the United States presents a spectrum of romantic relationships as diverse as America itself.